But it didn't work out that way. Hold on. I always go inside and ask. Well, that's not true. I don't always go inside and ask if it's okay to spend the night. If there are other vans or RVs of any kind out in the parking lot already, then I usually don't do that. But there was nobody else there. Well, there was a travel trailer, but I couldn't tell by the way they were parked if they were just parked because they were going into Walmart and get groceries, or if they were actually going to spend the night. So I had to go in and get, milk and bananas, some crackers, I guess. I guess that's all I got. And while I was in there, I decided to get in line at the customer service place and make sure that it was going to be okay, and to ask where I should park, because sometimes that's kind of an issue because they want you to park in certain places in the parking lot. And since there was nobody out there right then anyway, I decided that I really should go and ask. Well, when I walked into Walmart, I swear this happened. The greeter person, the one that's checking the receipts going out and so forth, she was standing there, and so I'll just ask her if she knows if other people park in the parking lot. So I tried to ask her. She didn't speak English well enough to understand what I was saying. So anyway, I get my groceries. I'm in line over at customer service to ask, and there was a guy up there that was turning in something. I don't know what it was, some kind of a strap. And there were two guys behind him. So I settled in for kind of a long wait, because you can, but I just really didn't want to go park unless I knew it was okay. So the guy in the front, I'm trying to say, is it okay if I just ask you a question? And the girl's like, get in line, get in line. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm in line. And the guy right in front of me, he was going to let me go in front of him, so that there was only the guy that was up there returning the strap, and then there was a guy right behind him, and then my guy. So the guy with the strap finally got done, and so the next guy pulls up. Well, he and the guy in front of me had been having a conversation, because that guy was buying or returning or exchanging or whatever a 50 to 30 amp hookup converter, adapter, I should say, for an RV. So the guy in front of me and him had been talking about RVs and all of those things. And so when I asked if I could ask a question, maybe get in front of him, the guy asked me what was my question. So I told him that I wanted to know if it would be okay if that's my question I was going to ask, if it would be okay if we spent the night in the parking lot here at Walmart, and where I should park. So the guy, then he wants to have a conversation with me. What do I have? Do I have heat? What do I do in the Walmart parking lot? And so it's getting time for me to go up there. And so he lets me in front. I go and I ask. And the ladies sometimes they know and sometimes they don't. But anyway, so the way I phrased my question was, I'm spending the night in the parking lot. Where do you want me to park? Instead of asking, can I spend in the parking lot? You get that subtle difference there. Anyway, she said, I want you, you park way over there in the corner. Well, I've parked way over there in the corner before, and way over there in the corner, there's a street, a part of the parking lot. There's a road, you're parked over here, and there's a road, and then more parking spaces over here. So what happens is, when you're way over there like that, then people are coming back and forth up and down that road, sometimes all night long, if it happens to be a 24-hour Walmart. Oh, I haven't seen one of those for a while, but anyway, back and forth, and they always have loud mufflers, right? They always do. So I really didn't want to park over there, but it was like, okay, I'll do what you say. So the guy says to me, he says, not too far from here, there is a church that you can spend the night at. I'm like, well, okay, well, how far is it? And he starts giving me directions. I'm like, no, that doesn't help me, because I'm not familiar with this place. I don't know where anything is. He said, well, traveling pastors stay there, and I'm sure you could. It would be okay. And I'm like, okay. Well, he gives me the address, and I'm thinking, whatever, but I remembered the address. So I go back out to the van, I'm putting my stuff away, and I'm thinking, do I want to go over there? Do I want to stay over? Go over there, stay over. And then another van pulls in, like 3 parking spaces over from me, and this lady gets out, and Matrix is barking his head off, and she kind of walks over to the van, and she said, am I parked too close to you? And I'm like, well, no. I'm thinking, you know, maybe I'm not going to stay here. She said, well, I was going to go in and ask, and I said, well, I asked, so it's okay. But she's parked right under a street light. I'm looking over there where they wanted me to park, and it was just all by itself, and there were people going up down there, and I'm getting this feeling like, I don't really want to stay here. And so I said to her, well, I know where there's a church parking lot that you can go and stay at that's going to be a lot quieter than here and darker too. She said, well, I like to park here right under the lights, the street lights. I feel safer right under the light in the parking lot. And I'm like, well, okay, this isn't working out. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go over there where he told me to go. He gave me the street, the cross streets, but he gave me the name of the church. So I just put that in there in my GPS, and it was only a mile and a half away, and it was like 10 minutes because it was going to be on streets, you know. Anyway, so yeah, so I went over there, and it was a brick. It was a Baptist church. It was brick, and he told me to park on the side, on the back, which turned out to actually be on the side, and there was nobody there. And it was right on the alley. He said, he said, I live right next door, and you'll probably hear my dog barking. Well, as soon as we drove in, and I'm not real good with dog breeds unless it's a Cavalier, Matrix, but I think it was like a pit bull or something. It was a big, mean, barky looking dog, and he barked like the whole time. Not all night, but I took Matrix out to go to the bathroom, and then that's when he started barking. He barked and barked and barked. So we settled in. It was good. There were stickers there in his feet, so he didn't want to go to the bathroom very bad, but he did. Well, actually, he's started to lift his leg and pee on stuff. He's almost 2, and he's always peed like a girl. So I don't know what that's all about, but now he's lifting his leg. So he lifted his leg on a telephone pole because he first got stickers, and then we had to dig those out. I hate those things. There were lights in the parking lot, but they weren't that bright. I only saw one vagabond. It was not the best neighborhood, but I felt safe, especially since that guy I knew right across the way, and he had this big mean dog. He had Christmas tree lights on his roof too. It was really pretty. So we settled in. I put all the stuff in. Of course, I always have to park going north, even though it was a good signal. I always park north and use my Starlink because I'm thinking, if you just go out there on 5G, can people go into your phone? I don't know, but I have a secure network. So I got my Starlink set up, and then we ate dinner, and we did all this stuff. And then, of course, he had to go out before bedtime. And I'm like, I don't really want to do this, but by this time, his dog he'd taken the dog in, so he wasn't barking anymore. I said, okay. So we went out. I found a little patch of dirt over here that didn't look like it had stickers in it, but he just lifted his leg, peed on the fence. Good boy. We're a good boy, right? Well, he wanted to get out. So it was a peaceful, calm night that we didn't spend at Walmart, that we spent at a church. We got up this morning too early. I woke up at 5 o'clock. I don't know what that's all about. But sometimes when I'm going to drive that day, because we're headed back to the city, I wake up early. So I got up early, and it was still dark. Take him out to go to potty, and the guy's dog wasn't out yet, so I didn't get barked at all over the place. So we went out, and he lifted his leg, and then he had to, do the other thing. He did that. I cleaned it up, and I guess when we were getting ready to go, I was very thankful that we could park there. There were dumpsters in the alley, so I could get rid of my trash. Nobody bothered us, and it was a very comfortable place. So that's why we didn't park in the Walmart parking lot last night. We didn't sleep there. It was too noisy. And a random guy, said go over and stay at this church. And I kind of wondered if he was going to come out and speak to us, but he didn't. And we just spent the night in the church. There are so many different places that you can stay. You just need to know about them. And sometimes something random happens, just like it did to us last night. So anyway, thanks. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow. We're headed to the city. Great.